Our story begins with our protagonist Ryota, who wakes up to the sound of a girl speaking in front of him, and he hears her say, "I killed the slime that was here. So surely what appeared to me is just meat in the shape of a human." As soon as Ryota heard her, he immediately got up from his sleep, which startled the girl a lot. Ryota was surprised by the place he was in and told her, "I'm a normal human, not just a piece of meat." She replied, "Normally, when I kill a slime, I get bean sprouts. How did you come out of the slime?" Ryota was very surprised by what she said and replied, "What slime? What beans? I don't understand anything." So the girl goes and kills another slime that was in the same place, and the slime disappears, leaving bean sprouts behind. She tells Ryota, "This is a level 1 slime in the dungeon. Here, when you kill this slime, these sprouts come out of it." Ryota stands there looking at her and says, "I don't understand anything, and how did I even get here in the first place?" So the girl, whose name is Emily, tells him that everything in this world is obtained by killing the monsters in the dungeon. So Ryota asks her, "Aren't we supposed to be in Japan? How did we end up here?" But Emily doesn't even know what Japan is as they're walking along. Another slime appears in front of them, and Emily kills it. So Ryota asks her, "Why do you only kill slimes?" Emily replies that the slimes here are level 1 monsters, and since her level is low, she can't go up against higher level monsters. She then takes Ryota to show him the status board, which lets you know your current power level as soon as you arrive there. Emily placed her hands on the crystal and saw her power level. Ryota thinks to himself that this feels like a video game, and then asks her what's on the second page of this report. Emily tells him that it's his extraction level for products after defeating monsters. And the higher your level, the more you can extract when you kill monsters. Then she told him to put his hand on the crystal as well to try it out. So Ryota tried it and found that all his abilities were weak, but his extraction power was at S level. She said to him, "What? You're at S level? You're really weak." Ryota stood there surprised and told her, "As far as I know, in games, S level is higher than A level." Then he said to her, "I want to try," and tried to take the hammer from her hand, but he couldn't hold it because it was way too heavy. So Emily gave him a stick made of bamboo. Ryota then tried to kill a slime with it, and he actually succeeded in killing it, and a large amount of bean sprouts appeared. Emily told him, "I've been here for 2 whole years and I've never seen an extraction of this size. You managed to get a really huge amount." So Ryota thought to himself, "That means what I suspected was right. Is S rank higher than A rank?" And just as he was about to continue talking, his stomach started growling from how hungry he was. So Emily suggested that they sit down and eat together. And indeed, they both sat down and Emily prepared the food for them. And the food was so delicious for Ryota that he started crying and began to remember his old life, when he used to spend all day working at a company and would come home at the end of the day, eat anything, and go to sleep, until he got so exhausted that he ended up in the hospital because of that miserable life. And one day he was sleeping in the office, and when he woke up he found himself in this world. He was about to continue talking. He found Emily standing next to him, reassuring him and telling him, "Don't worry, I'm sure you'll succeed in your life here. Surely everyone who works hard gets their share." And after they both finished eating, Ryota said to her, "I want to look for a place to sleep." Emily replied to him that there is a place near the guild here, and he could rent an apartment to live in there. So Ryota asked her, "Then why do you sleep here in the guild?" She told him, "All I can extract from the slime is very little. It's barely enough for me to eat. So I hope that one day I can rent an apartment and live in it." Then she gave Ryota the bamboo stick as he was leaving. The next morning, Ryota started moving around the city and learned that the official currency is the bello. He also started to learn the prices of products in the city and the way people live there. He began going out and killing the slimes on the first level of the guild. He would take the amount of beans he harvested and go sell them until he managed to save up a good sum of money. Then he took it, rented a house, and brought Emily to see it. And as soon as they entered the house, Ryota told her, "I rented this house with the money I collected over the last 3 days. Then he took out the key and handed it to her, which surprised her. Emily asked him, "Why are you giving me the key?" So he told her, "From now on, you're going to live with me. Don't worry, I'll pay the rent. Consider it a gift for the meal you made for me on the first day." Ryota gathered himself and went to the city store selling the beans he collected. While there, he spoke to the manager, Arzuk. He said, "Starting tomorrow, I'm going to explore the second level of the Demathium." She told him, "The monsters on the second level drop carrots instead of beans, and their price is definitely higher." She asked him, "Did you hear about the newly discovered Demathium? The Neptune family is currently checking out the rewards you can get from there. And by the way, they're the strongest family in the whole city." Ryota paused for a moment to think about what she said, then left. As soon as he got home, he found that Emily had cleaned the house until it was sparkling. He sat down at the table and asked her if she had heard about the new Demathium that had appeared. She told him that over there, you don't get anything when you kill monsters, so it's pointless. The next day, Ryota set out and went there. While he was there, he thought to himself, "In this world, you can get something from every Demathium, so how come nothing comes out of this one?" He started exploring that Demathium to look for monsters, and he found a huge skeleton attacking him. So Ryota tried to kill it, and when he looked, he saw that a seed had come out of it. As soon as he picked it up, he heard a voice telling him that his health level had increased by 1 point. And when he went with Emily to check his strength again, he found that his health had indeed increased significantly. So he thought to himself, that means the effect of the seed was real for sure. He started killing a lot of the skeletons there to increase his health. And when Emily killed any skeleton, nothing came out of it. And even if she tried to take the seed that Ryota got, she couldn't hold it. So Ryota thought to himself, I think this Demathium is made for people whose extraction level is rank S. At the end of the day, Ryota went home with Emily, and while they were eating there, Ryota told her, tomorrow I'll go to the main Demathium and advance to the second level to see how strong I've become. And I heard that there I'll be able to get carrots when I kill monsters, so we'll be able to make new food for ourselves. So Emily said to him, but I hope you don't act recklessly, because ever since you came, you've been incredibly reckless and you come home late every day, so try to come back early as much as you can. Ryota promised her that he wouldn't be late all day anymore. The next day, Ryota went and reached the second level and started killing the new slimes, and he actually found a big carrot dropping when he killed the monsters. There he found a girl standing behind him who said, "You're on the first level." I hate people who are on the first level. She hit him on the head with her hands, but nothing happened to him. She was very surprised by that, turned her face away and walked off from there. Ryota was surprised by her, but he continued killing monsters, collected carrots, went to sell them, and then returned home. He found Emily there, and while he was talking to her, he heard a knock at the door. As soon as he opened it, he saw the same girl standing at the door. She tried to hit him on the head again, but nothing happened to him. She tried to hit him again and again, but it was no use. She got frustrated, went and grabbed someone from the street and hit him with the same blow. His head split open because of it. She stood there telling Ryota, I tried to give you the same injury, but nothing happened to you, and you're only at level 1. How is that possible? Ryota was surprised by her and thought to himself, maybe it's because my healing is ranked S due to the money. Then he asked her, oh, why did you even come here in the first place? She pulled out a carrot she had with her and said, I took this from you when you were in Demathium and I want more of it. And when she looked at Emily, she saw that they had a lot of carrots, so she came in and sat with them to eat. Emily started preparing the food and then the three of them sat down to eat together. After they finished, the girl who looked like a rabbit got up and left. The next day, Ryota went to the new dungeon called Nihon Yume and went up to the second floor. There, a monster appeared and attacked him, managing to break his weapon. So Ryota tried to fight it with his bare hands until he finally defeated it and went to pick up the seed it dropped. And he says, in the same place on the first floor. Here, I increased my healing power. I wonder what the second level will do. And when he picked up the seed, he found that it disappeared, and a voice told him that his power level had increased. He was just about to turn around to look for more monsters. He found the carrot girl standing in front of him, telling him, if you don't bring me carrots right now, today will be your last day alive. Ryota told her, we can't find carrots here, but when I go to the main dungeon today, I'll bring you some carrots. He asked her to wait for him at the shop where he sells his goods. By the end of the day, Ryota finished up and took the carrots he had collected to go sell them. When he entered the shop, he found the girl sitting there waiting for him, and everyone was surprised by him. When he approached her and gave her a carrot, the shop manager, whose name was Arza, said to him, do you know this girl? He replied, I don't know her at all. She just keeps asking me for carrots all the time. She quickly responded, I'll buy all the carrots you brought for double the price. This girl's name is Evie. She's an adventurer, has rabbit-like traits, and her destructive power is extremely high. She doesn't like just any kind of carrot. That's why, since she liked the ones you have, their price must be higher. She took all the carrots from him and gave him 15,000 belly. Ryota started thinking to himself, if I get this amount every day for 30 days, I'll be the richest person in the whole place. He thanked Evie and told her, tomorrow I'll bring you more carrots. He gathered his things and left. The next day, Ryota and Emily went to the Dimity and were collecting all the carrots. While Ryota was walking around looking for monsters to kill, he spotted two people holding weapons, trying to fight off the monsters, and they looked extremely exhausted. He was just about to go help them. He saw someone approaching them, stopping and saying, you want to be spared looking like this? You're supposed to be stronger than that. They replied that they were extremely tired because they hadn't slept for 2 days, which annoyed the man, and he told them, when I was your age, I stayed in this cell for weeks on end without any rest. And that's why I became stronger. I treat you harshly because I believe your strength is greater than this. He turned his face and walked away, and the two of them followed him. Ryota stood there, confused, saying, when I used to work at a company, my boss treated me in exactly the same way. He would give us impossible tasks and tell us it was for our own good, but Emily interrupted his thoughts, telling him that she had prepared the food, so the two of them sat down to eat. And just before anyone could reach for the food, Evie came rushing over to them and sat down to eat with them. While they were all eating, the leader and his followers passed by. Ryota saw them. Ryota heard the leader telling his group, don't ever become like these people. Laziness in Dimity is absolutely unacceptable. You have to keep your spirits high so you can find even greater spoils. Then they all walked away from there. By the end of the day, Ryota and Emily went to sell the carrots they had found. When Arza saw them, she was shocked by the huge amount. So Ryota told her, I actually harvested even more carrots than this, but this is all I could carry. She replied, so why don't you buy a magic cart? It would help you a lot when carrying the loot. So Ryota and Emily left there and went to the magic cart shop. As soon as they walked in, they found an old man greeting them saying, I have a brand new cart that I just made recently. It also has a monster detection system, and its price is 10 million. But if you want a regular cart, it will cost you 2 million. Ryota was shocked by the price and left the place to go home. As they were walking, they found a lot of people running around them and heard people calling him a stray. So he asked Emily, what are these monsters? She told him that when a monster is killed and loot drops from it, if no one takes the loot, it later turns back into a monster. So if that loot leaves the dungeon, it will turn into a monster in the street among people. And unfortunately, these monsters don't drop any loot. That's why people run away from it and try to avoid being attacked. He suddenly saw a huge gorilla in front of him, and everyone was running away from it. He noticed that Arza was also running. She fell in front of the gorilla and the beast was just about to attack her. So Ryota quickly ran over and blocked its attack. Then Ivy moved in with 3 other people and they tried to kill the gorilla. Then Ryota and Emily ran over to join them, trying to kill it. Ryota jumped at the gorilla with all his strength and punched it in the stomach, managing to kill it. Everyone started thanking him, and just as he was about to leave, he heard the sound of loot, so he followed the sound to check what he had found. As soon as he reached the place where the gorilla was killed, he found a gun on the ground in front of him. He picked it up, very surprised, thinking to himself that this weapon shouldn't exist in this world. And also, how did something drop from a monster that's not supposed to drop any loot? After that, Ryota went to the crystal to check his strength, but found that he was still at level 1. But all his abilities had increased noticeably. Then he went to Dimas on the 2nd level and started testing the gun he had on the monsters. And indeed, he managed to kill a huge number of them, thinking to himself that this gun is extremely useful. But how am I going to get more bullets? Until I figure that out, I need to save the bullets I have. After that, he went to the main Dimas with Emily so they could kill some of the monsters there and collect some items. The 2 of them sat together to eat while they were there. Emily said to Ryota, "The weapon you have is really powerful." So Ryota told her, "That's because I was able to raise my strength to level B. And now I can also go up to the 3rd level in Dimas." And indeed, after they finished eating, the 2 of them went up to the 3rd level. And as soon as they got there, Emily said to him, "This is basically my first time in this place. I know that the monsters here are cockroaches and you can get pumpkins from them. But this is the first time I've seen them with you." As they were walking, they spotted some of the cockroaches in the area, and just as Ryota was about to turn his face to attack them, he looked beside him and saw that Emily had grabbed the hammer he had and killed them with it. And when he looked at her face, he saw that she had started to transform into a strange state, with a huge energy emanating from her. She started chasing after the cockroaches and killing them until she wiped them all out. Then the 2 of them moved around the place to look for the remaining monsters as they walked. Ryota thought to himself, "This is the first time I've seen Emily like this. I have to get out of here quickly before she transforms into that terrifying form again." As they were walking, they found some more cockroaches and Emily was about to transform into her terrifying form again. But Ryota stopped her and killed the cockroaches himself with the gun he had. They managed to gather a huge amount of pumpkins and took them to sell at the store. While they were on their way to get the rest of the pumpkins, they saw that it had turned into another cockroach. Ryota immediately rushed to kill them before Emily could transform again, and he kept at it until he managed to get rid of them all. But in the end, he ran out of bullets, and while he was catching his breath after killing them all, he looked beside him and saw that all the cockroaches had turned into bullets because they were outside the Dimas. And by the end of the night, Ryota started thinking about everything that had happened and said to himself, "As long as I can make the monsters appear outside the Dimas, maybe I can get a lot of useful things from them." So he actually went and got a carrot and left it to turn into a monster, and eventually the monster appeared. Ryota killed it with his gun, and a large number of bullets came out of it. So Ryota went to collect them, and then he started thinking about what he could get if he did the same thing in the Neon Dimas. And indeed, he went there and tried to keep the seeds that escaped from the monsters, but every time he grabbed the seed, it disappeared from him, even though he had reached the highest point of his strength. After he lost his enthusiasm, he decided to leave, and he was just heading toward the door to go out. He found a monster attacking him, so Ryota tried to hit it to push it away and threw it out of the dungeon. But before the monster hit the ground, it had completely disappeared. After that, Ryota went to the shop in the city to sell his products. When he asked Arzu about it, she told him that all the monsters in the dungeon disappear as soon as they leave it. And it even disappears if you move from one floor to another, and Arza is still continuing her talk. Ryota pulled himself together and went back to the Dimas, stood in front of the door, and as soon as a monster attacked him, he grabbed it and threw it outside. Before the monster hit the ground, Ryota shot it with his gun and found a frozen bullet coming out of it. Ryota picked it up and put it in his gun to try it out. And when he shot it at the tree in front of him, he saw it turn to ice. Ryota stood there amazed by this bullet, thinking to himself, "I could make huge gains from this and kill a lot of monsters because of the power of this bullet." And all of this is just from the 2nd level. So what could happen if I did the same thing at higher levels? After that, Ryota went back to the main dungeon to get some products to sell. There, he took out his gun, loaded the ice bullet and shot the slime in front of him, freezing it, then had Emily hit it with her hammer. And indeed, she was able to kill it with ease. He tells Emily, "I can do so many things with this bullet, but unfortunately it's hard for me to get it, so I'll use regular bullets until I figure out a way." At the end of the day, Ryota and Emily were on their way home, and as they were walking, they saw 2 people standing in the road, arguing and looking down at something. They found a car below, and inside it was spoils from the monsters. The girl standing there was trying to burn all those spoils before she turned into a monster. But the merchant with her wanted to keep them as they were until he could sell them, because there were some very rare spoils among them, and they kept arguing. Ryota and Emily were standing with them, all looking on, when they saw the merchant surrounded by a misty monster. Then the girl standing there told them that this was the monster that had emerged from the spoils, a monster with no physical body that could take control of anyone in front of it. So Ryota quickly grabbed his gun and shot at it, managing to bring the old man back. Looking beside him, he saw the girl trying to go down to destroy the monster before it could escape, telling them, "You too, run away quickly. And since I was working with him, I'm definitely responsible for whatever happens here." And as soon as Ryota heard her words, he remembered his past life, back when he was working at a company and the same scenario was happening. Before the girl could go down the mountain, Ryota stopped her, grabbed his gun, used ice bullets, and shot them at the monster below. And he was actually able to freeze it. Then Emily came down on the monster with her hammer and managed to finish it off. She went to check her strength and found that it had increased significantly because she was killing the monsters that Ryota froze. The next day, both of them went to the main dungeon and went up to the second level. There, a rare monster appeared, and Ryota managed to kill it and take the amulet that came out of it. He gave it to Emily and told her, "This amulet can double the loot. Come on, let's try it now." And indeed, Emily tried killing some monsters and the loot was doubling in quantity. After they finished, the two of them went back home and sat together. Ryota thought to himself, "I feel like this house has become really cramped." Then he said to Emily, "What do you think about buying a new house? Let's try to save up a bit more money and look for a new place." Emily told him, "I don't want you to overwork yourself." So Ryota replied, "Don't worry, I won't spend too long in the dungeons." He went out to the shop to sell some of the bamboo he had earned on the 4th level of the dungeon. As soon as he arrived at the shop, he put the bamboo in front of Arza and was about to find out its price. He found a girl behind him saying, "I want to take one of those bamboo sticks." Ryota told her, "No problem." So the girl took one, broke it, ate it, and was really happy with it. She bought all the bamboo Ryota had, gave him the money, and left. And as soon as the girl left the shop, Ryota looked over and saw Arza telling him, "That girl's name is Eric, and she's known as the gourmet. Any food she likes ends up being sold at a very high price." Then she told him, "I want you to sign an exclusive contract with us because soon everyone in the city will be talking about this bamboo. So I want you to sell us everything you get from it." Ryota agreed to her offer and headed over to Dimas Neonium. While he was there, he looked and saw a girl standing there, surrounded by some people who were killing monsters above her. He was surprised, and as he kept looking, someone came up to him and said, "That girl is the princess of the city. Right now, she's killing monsters and air comes out of them, so we collect it and sell it to the people in the city." Ryota thought to himself, "They're literally selling air." Then the man told him, "This is one of our most famous products, and it's all thanks to the princess's influence." He also saw that they had a magic cart with them. He remembered that he also wanted to buy a cart, so he went back home and discussed it with Emily. He said to her, "We either buy a new cart or get a house." She told him, "We'll buy a magic cart to help us with the products we need to carry, and after that we can save up again to buy the new house." The two of them went together to the cart shop, and as soon as they stood in front of the door, they heard the sound of someone crying coming from inside. And as soon as they both went inside, they found the shop owner's daughter standing there crying, telling them that her father had left home 2 days ago and still hadn't come back. She said that he had told her he was going out to get some flowers. So Ryota decided to go and see why he was delayed. And he learned from Emily that there was only one greenhouse in the city that had flowers, and it was called Arsenic. So the two of them set off together and headed there. As soon as they arrived, they found a lot of monsters standing around the road, not moving. Emily said that these monsters were just standing in place and not attacking anyone. They kept running inside until the path was blocked by the monsters. He pulled out his gun, but the bullets bounced back because of the shield on the monster. But Emily grabbed her weapon and managed to take out all the monsters, and they all turned into flowers. So he quickly ran inside, and they found the car shop owner lying on the ground, so both of them went over and tried to wake him up. Emily was very upset with him because of his daughter, who was crying, and she said to him, "So you're sleeping here and leaving her alone in the shop crying?" And Ryota asked him, "Why did you come here?" He replied that he was here because he was building a new car and needed both a heavy and a light stone to finish making it. He told him, "I managed to get the heavy stone, but I still haven't found the light one. And when I tried to leave, I found the monsters blocking my way, and as he looked up, he saw the stone hanging in the air." He told them that this stone is lighter than normal air, which is why it floats upward, and that these are very rare monsters. So Ryota and Emily decided to help him. Indeed, Ryota lifted Emily up so she could kill the monsters, and a blue-colored flower emerged from it. The three of them left the place and went to an empty spot where they placed the flower on the ground so it could transform into another monster. The shop owner told them that he needed the monster itself and would try to catch it as soon as it appeared again. But the problem is that it's lighter than air, so it might float up quickly, and we have to catch it before that happens. And indeed, as soon as the flower transformed into a monster, the man rushed quickly to catch it, but it slipped away from him. Quickly, Ryota pulled out the gun he had and used the tracking bullet, shot it at the monster, made it fall to the ground, and then the man took it and went to continue with his car. He decided to give it to Ryota as a gift and said to him, "I'm giving it to you because you helped me today. And you were also able to save the city a few days ago, so you deserve it as a gift." And indeed, Ryota took it and started using it with Diamis, and Emily told him, "Because of this car, we were able to take double the amount." He took the car and went to sell the products at the store, and as soon as he arrived there, he found someone standing in front of Arza, objecting to the price she was going to buy his products for. Arza was telling him, "The price of your products is 8,400. The man didn't agree to the price and was about to raise his hand to hit her. He found his hand frozen in place and heard someone behind him say, "Arza wouldn't lie to you about the price she's telling you." He took all his goods and put them in the cart he had with him. He told him, "This cart has a feature that determines the price of the products, and it has a set price. His products also cost 8,400. But the man got upset with him too and was about to raise his hand to hit him. Ryota easily blocked his hand, slapped him, and threw him far away. The next day, Ryota and Emily went out again to collect new products, and they found themselves able to gather 200,000 just in that day. With that, they completed the amount needed to buy a new house. At the end of the day, they started gathering all their things to leave the place. Ryota agreed with Amelie that they would keep their current house and use it as a backup place. They actually moved to a new apartment, and the next day Ryota went to the dungeon. A new day began, and he started killing the monsters on the 3rd level, thinking to himself, at first there were skeletons, then zombies, and now the monsters have become mummies. So what is he going to encounter in the next levels? He noticed that in this level, his speed was increasing. At the end of the day, he went to the store as usual. While he was sitting there, he saw a man come in with 2 girls and sit down in front of Ryota. Ryota asked him, "Is there something you need or what?" The man said to him, "I want to challenge you to an arm wrestling match. I'm interested in your strength because I heard you put on an excellent show here yesterday." Ryota remembered when he hit the man and saw that the guy in front of him had put his hand on the table. So Ryota extended his hand as well, and they both started the match. Their strength was very close, and they were both surprised by each other's power. But in the end, Ryota was the one who managed to win, and he saw that everyone was surprised that Neptune had been defeated. Ryota remembered what Arza had said about that family, and realized that he was from the ruling family of the city. He saw that he was being asked for a rematch between them, but Ryota refused, and just as the two were about to get up, Neptune moved his hand and tried to hit Ryota hard, but Ryota managed to block his strike and push him away forcefully. He saw that Neptune was very happy, so he got up and said to him, "You're really strong. What do you think about joining our family?" Everyone standing there was really impressed by the offer, but in the end, Ryota refused, left, and went home. He told Emily about it and said, "I'm not interested in joining any group. I'm happy living with you." And then he notices Evie sitting at the table eating carrots, so he says to her, "Did you really follow me all the way here just for the carrots too?" He turned to Emily and found her saying, "I'm really proud of you. You're considered a hero in the city." After he finished eating, he got up and went to Nuyom. When he went inside, he found the princess and her group again, standing there killing monsters on the 1st level so they could sell the air that comes out of them. And when Ryota got closer to them, he found the old man greeting him and saying, "Come take a look at the new chests we've made. They automatically absorb the loot." Then he gave Ryota some of it and said, "Now go tell your friends to come buy from us." While he was still talking, Ryota got a brilliant idea and went to carry it out. He ran quickly, tried to kill the monsters, took the seeds that came out of them, and put them in the chest. He managed to get out of the dungeon with them, then placed the chest in front of him and waited for it to turn into a monster. A large number of skeletons appeared in front of him. Ryota grabbed his gun and started shooting them, and he got a large amount of freezing bullets. Then he tried bringing out monsters from the 2nd and 3rd levels and killed them both. When he looked, he found new bullets had appeared, one with the power of fire and the other with healing power, and he was able to collect a large amount of them. But while he was standing there, he felt something strange, and when he looked, he saw Emily telling him, "That's why I came to you. There's going to be a magic storm here, so we need to go home right away." Ryota took himself and went to the shop to sell all the products he had with him. And there Arza asked him, "Why isn't Emily with you today?" So he told her that she went shopping for the house, and she replied, "It must be because of the magic storm." Ryota replied, "And what's the connection?" Arza told him that the magic storm is a very rare phenomenon, and during it, no one can use magic at all, whether outside or inside the dungeon. And today's storm looks really big, and that's why all the mages took the day off. While he was standing there listening, someone came into the shop asking for help, saying, "My sister is stuck in silicon." Ryota was surprised by what he heard, so Arza told him that this dungeon is for mages. And then the storm came, and she couldn't use magic. She got stuck in that place all alone. And the boy started going around to everyone in the place, asking them for help, and in the end, he sat on the ground crying, but no one cared about him, including Neptune himself. Neptune stood talking to Ryota for a bit, saying, "The monsters in that swamp are really troublesome. Even I don't want to go near there because they can only be harmed by magical attacks pretty much, and I'm not willing to risk my life there." But Ryota stood there, surprised, and remembered what Emily had told him, that he was a hero in the city, so he decided to go help the girl in the swamp. He moved very quickly toward the swamp and headed to the 3rd level. On the way, he started to see some monsters in front of him, so he pulled out his gun and used fire bullets on them, and it actually worked. He was able to kill them. Then he used freezing bullets to prevent the loot from turning back into monsters. He started killing every monster he came across. At the same time, Emily was heading to the shop to see Ryota. When she found out he had gone to the silicon swamp, she decided to go help him. He was killing the monsters in front of him and managed to reach the girl's location. As he got closer, he found her on the verge of death, and there was another monster attacking him. He was just about to pull out his gun to kill it. he found that all the bullets he had were gone. At that moment, outside the DMAth, Emily and Ivy were running, trying to catch up to Ryota as they ran. Emily said to Ivy, "Why did you come with me?" She replied, "Because of the carrots, they just taste so good." So Emily said to her, "That's definitely not the reason I'm running. But Ryota reminds me of my mother, and I remembered my memories with her when she used to kill monsters to save people, then give them advice and joke around with them afterwards. She was a kind and strong person at the same time. Until one day, a dragon appeared in one of the dungeons and everyone started to run away, but her mother went to fight the dragon. In the end, she managed to kill it, but she collapsed to the ground from exhaustion. Before she died, she made sure everyone was okay and asked me to carry her out of the dungeon so that the loot she had wouldn't turn into monsters. She was a true hero in the city by every measure. Ryota really reminds me of her. He helped a lot of people in the city and now it's my turn to help him too." And in the dungeon, Rio was running from the monsters and shooting at them with regular bullets, but it was useless. As he was running, he saw Emily coming toward him, and she had a lot of skeletal monsters with her, and they brought him some more bullets as well. Ryota realized that they had gone to the dungeon and did exactly what he used to do. The three of them started killing the monsters and taking bullets to kill the other monsters, and the three of them got out along with the other girl. As soon as they got out, the girl was badly injured, and the boy with her couldn't use magic because of the storm in the city. So Ryota laid her on the ground, took out his gun, and shot her with the healing bullet he had. Her strength came back, she woke up from her coma, and the boy took her and left. The next day, Ryota went to the shop to sell the new loot he got in Silicon, and this time he had a watermelon with him, and she was just about to take his stuff. He saw the girl who was there yesterday coming back again, and she tasted the watermelon and really liked it, and he was still trying to process what was happening. Then Arza told him, "We want to sign another contract for the watermelon," and he agreed to what she said. Arza asked, "Do you have a license to reach level 5 in DMAth?" He asked her in surprise, "What license?" Arza told him, "This license gives you permission to explore the levels below level 6. And that's the system everywhere in the world. And since the danger in all the dungeons increases starting from level 5, you need a license for every 5 levels. So, to start exploring levels 6 to 10, you need a license, and you'll need another license if you want to go up another level. And merchants aren't allowed to buy any loot from a hunter who doesn't have a license." So Rio 10 decided to go get his license. And he actually went there, taking my email with him. As soon as he entered the place, he found someone sitting there. So Ryota approached him and said, "I want to get a license." The man replied, "And what are your achievements?" Ryota remembered what Arzak had told him, that they would ask him about his achievements. So he told him, "I've reached level 5 and I can defeat the monsters there." Then the man got up, took a big watermelon, and led him to a place that looked like an arena. He told him, "This watermelon is at level 6 in the main Demas. Now, it's gonna turn into a monster. If you can defeat it, you'll succeed and get your license." And indeed, the watermelon transformed into a new monster, which was a metallic slime. So Ryota ran over and tried to hit it with his hand, but it had no effect on the monster. He pulled out his gun and loaded it with an ice bullet and a fire bullet. He shot the monster first with the fire bullet, then with the ice bullet. Then he struck the block of ice, causing the slime to shatter and die. He turned to Emily and explained that what happened was due to the extreme temperature difference. This led to the melting of the metal that the slime was made of. He looked over and saw the examiner was astonished by his strength and gave him the license to enter the 6th level. He told him, "I've been working here for about 10 years and I've never seen anyone with your strength. Surely the city's future will be bright." A few days later, Ryota went to an abandoned place, bought some tuna, put it there, and waited for it to turn into a monster. And indeed, the tuna transformed into a giant gorilla, just like the one he had killed before. Ryota took out his gun and used an ice bullet on it, managing to paralyze it. Then he rushed to its head and used regular bullets to kill the gorilla. Another gun appeared for him, so now he had 2 guns. He thought to himself, "Now it will be much easier to switch between the bullets I have." After that, he headed to the shop to sell some products as usual. At the shop, there was a sense of anxiety in the place. So he asked Arzuk about the reason for this. She told him that some adventurers had gone on strike. The ADL Bard family had taken control of the 6th level in Demas Silicon, which is the only place where we can get rice. That's why the price of rice has gone up a lot recently. So Ryota decided to go there and see the situation for himself. As soon as he reached the entrance of the Demas, he found a crowd of people standing there. While he was walking, he saw Neptune standing there, who asked him, "What are you doing here?" "You must be here because of the ADL Bard family too. I also came here because I was requested by the townspeople. This family has staged this strike more than once, and the patience of the townspeople has completely run out. Basically, I came here to get rid of them." So Ryota said to him, "Wait, let me handle this. I'll solve the problem without you having to kill them." And indeed, Ryota went up to the 6th level and found some people standing in front of him, blocking his way. Before they could finish talking, Ryota had already drawn his 2 pistols, so the 3 of them called the rest of their family and they all stood in front of Ryota just as one of them was about to speak. Ryota fired 2 shots at the same time, and the 2 bullets merged together, knocking them all out unconscious. As he looked around, he found Neptune behind him, asking, "What did you just do?" So Ryota replied, "I have a healing bullet that can heal wounds. But I discovered that if I fire 2 of them at the same time, they merge together and turn into a tranquilizer bullet. And he says to himself, I tried to experiment with all the possible combinations of merging bullets, and I managed to create a huge number of new bullets that will be useful. For example, when the grid bullet and the fire bullet are combined, they both turn into a completely paralyzing bullet. After that, he asked Neptune to help him get those people out of the Damas. And as soon as he got out of there, he found someone asking to meet him. Ryota went and sat with him, and the man said, My name is Gray, and I am the one in charge of the main Damas. Then he told him, I want to ask you for a favor. I need your help in a battle because of a new Damas against the neighboring city. He told him, the Damas in our city produces vegetables, and the neighboring city produces all kinds of meat. But the new Damas that appeared is located halfway between us. And supposedly, the ownership of the Damas is determined for the city by the loot that comes out of it. But this Damas is made up of 10 floors. The odd-numbered floors produce khadar, and the even-numbered floors produce meat. That's why we decided to determine the ownership of the Damas by whoever can bring out rare loot from it. And since you've become famous here in the city, I want to make use of your strength. And even if we lose, you'll still get a reward. And if we manage to win and take the Damas for ourselves, you'll be exempted from all taxes in the city. And indeed, he agreed to the proposal and set off to go. On his way home, he was trying to think about what things he would need to take with him before leaving the city. He went and told Emily about the situation and asked her to come with him to the new Damas. And indeed, they started their journey to the Damas. At the end of the day, after they were exhausted, Ryota looked over and saw Emily telling him, We're going to camp here. She took a large tent out of her bag and set it up in the spot. Ryota was shocked by all the things she was carrying in her bag. The two of them sat down to eat. In the middle of the meal, Emily told him, I'm going to burn the trash we have because if it isn't burned, it attracts monsters. In the city, there were people who burned it every day. But here, we're the only ones responsible. Before she could finish her sentence, Ryota's mind started working, so he took the trash bag and put it outside to see if it would turn into a monster. And indeed, it turned into a monster in the shape of Frankenstein. Ryota went out and used 2 fire shots on it, managing to burn it. Then he went to check the loot that dropped and found it was a homing bullet. So the next day, he woke up quickly to try it out. He put a carrot on the ground and waited for it to turn into a monster, then shot the homing bullet at it. The bullet kept moving in all directions, chasing the monster until it killed it. After that, Ryota and Emily headed toward the new Damas. The place there was full of merchants, because this area was exempt from taxes. So everyone from both towns was coming there. And as they were walking, they found a large amount of garbage bags in the street, and he saw a girl trying to burn all that garbage with her magic. When Ryota looked closely, he noticed there were dark circles under her eyes, and her face was very pale. He thought to himself, that means she hasn't slept in a long time because of work. He remembered his old life when he used to work at a company like that, and decided to go help her. When he got closer to her, he found that she collapsed and fainted. Ryota quickly ran to catch her and asked, Are you okay? She replied, Yes, I have to finish the work I have to do. She got up again to go back and continue burning the garbage. Ryota thought to himself, I've seen this situation many times before. People take on so many responsibilities until they get exhausted, and some people even die. He took out his gun and fired 2 shots at her at once, which turned into a tranquilizer dart. He had Emily take her to the tent. After a while, the girl woke up and left the tent. She looked around and saw the garbage bags thrown on the ground, all turning into monsters. She saw Ryota shooting at them with his gun to collect the bullets that would come out of them. They all went back into the tent, sat down to eat, and learned from her that her name was Celeste and that she worked in burning garbage for people. But the amount of garbage in this area is very large because there are many traders and camel raiders here, because the loot from Damas is exempt from taxes until it is decided which country will own it. And that's why she's so exhausted. While they were sitting and talking, they looked over and saw that Celeste had fallen asleep from sheer exhaustion. The next day, she went out again to continue burning the garbage, and her strength was much greater than the day before. She decided that she would live with Emily and Ryota for this period until the mission was over. After that, Ryota took Emily and the two of them went down to the market in the area. There, Emily saw a ring she really liked, and it cost $1 million. So Ryota decided he would try to save up to buy it for her, and then he went to see the person in charge of the city he was in. When he entered, he found a man named Doc, who was the city's official responsible for this Damas. He sat down with Ryota and looked over all the plans for the place. And he learned that his mission was to kill all the rare monsters, and that the hunters there would try to find them, and as soon as they reached one, they'd call him to kill it and take its loot. Ryota quickly ran to the first level to see the first monster that had been caught, and there he found some people from the other country standing around. Ryota pulled out his gun and tried to kill the monster, and indeed, they managed to finish it off. After that, he received a very large cash reward from Doc, went and bought the ring that Emily liked, then returned to the tent and gave her the ring as a gift to thank her for helping him. The next day, the two of them went to the crystal to measure their strength, and Emily found that next to all her stats, it said +1. Ryota told her that this was because of the power of the ring on her hand. At the end of the day, Ryota went to meet Doc and learned from him that the second city would soon request new support from adventurers so they could finish everything quickly. And they fill the odd-numbered floors with adventurers whose extraction ability is F, so that we can't get the rare loot that drops from the monsters on our floors. So Ryota said to him, well, I have a solution. If we can manage to get the rest of the rare loot on our odd-numbered floors, we'll at least be even with them. and he asked Duke to raise the reward for any adventurer who finds a rare monster to 10 million. He told him, I have a 100% chance of getting the rare loot, and if I kill a monster and don't get any loot from it for you, I'll pay you the money back. And that's exactly what happened. Ryota started killing all the rare monsters on the odd-numbered floors in Dimas. He managed to get the rare loot from them until he finished all 5 odd-numbered floors. After that, he headed back to the tent. He was very happy with the achievement he had accomplished. But his happiness didn't last because as he was walking he found a gang from the other city surrounding him, and one of them used magic on him to nullify all his strength. They all tried to attack him, but Ryota pushed them with the cart and started hitting them until they all passed out. Then he pulled out his gun and shot them with healing bullets again. He stood up and said to their leader, I was able to use my gun at any time, even during the magic storm. So I don't think a simple spell like this will stop me, and I understand your feelings. But every time you try to attack me, I will defend myself as well, because there are people waiting for me to come back home. And I hope that each one of you finds that person in your life again. Ryota gathered himself and went back to the tent. The next day, as soon as Ryota woke up and stepped outside, he found Celeste standing there burning a small amount of trash, and he saw that she had covered it again. So Ryota grabbed his gun and shot her with a healing bullet. When she came to, she found Ryota asking her, why did you use so much fire just to burn that small amount? She replied, unfortunately, I can only use this spell. It's a level 3 fire spell. I can't use either the first or second level spells. While they were standing there, some other people came to dump their trash and were about to use the spell. Ryota told her, don't worry, I'll help you. He pulled out his gun and shot a fire bullet at the trash, then said to her, I think I've pretty much finished my mission here. All that's left is for me to officially become the king of the city, and then I'll come back. So I'll help you as much as I can until then. But after a while, he noticed there was a huge amount of trash. She told him that this was because the Dimas boss had appeared. They're monsters that show up every few months, but they're very strong and don't allow anyone to enter Dimas during that time. So Ryota told her to take the day off, and he finished all her work himself. The next day, things were even worse, and the amount of trash was much greater. So Ryota decided to go check with Doc about the situation and see if the team had managed to defeat the monster or not. And as soon as he got there, he found Neptune sitting and learned that he had been summoned to destroy the Dimas boss. So Ryota asked him to finish the matter quickly, but before he could finish speaking, Doc told him that it wasn't that simple. We agreed with the other city that in the event the Dimas boss appears, so we're going to summon a strong fighter, and they said the same thing. We fulfilled the agreement, but they didn't do that, and up until now, they haven't summoned any other fighter. Because if Said al-Dimas stays for as long as possible, he could change the whole system from the inside, and all the spoils would go back to how they were before. At that point, we would have lost everything we've accomplished. So Ryota told them, I'll go there by myself. Duke replied to him, saying that he needed at least 3 people with him. And when Ryota asked Neptune to come with him, Neptune refused, saying he wouldn't risk his life. So Ryota went down to the market there to look for adventurers, but it was no use. And when he went to the tent, he found Emily telling him, I heard what happened and I'm ready to go into the Dimas with you. Then she added, I'll come with you too. So the 3 of them actually went to enter the Dimas, and inside, the whole place was very quiet. The 3 of them stood searching for the Dimas boss, and while they were standing, they saw a huge horse with 2 horns in front of them. From its appearance, they knew it was the Dimas boss. Emily tried to attack the monster, but there was a huge shield around it, so she couldn't hit it. The same thing happened with Ryota when he tried to shoot it with his gun, and then the monster started attacking all of them, so Celeste tried to use her fire skill and managed to pin it in place. Ryota pulled out both his pistols and fired shots until he managed to break its shield. Emily moved in with her weapon and managed to hit the monster, so they tried to repeat this tactic several more times. In the end, they managed to destroy the monster and kill it. Ryota went and thanked Celeste for her great effort in helping him, and gave her the 2 horns, which were the loot that dropped from the monster. She found out that these 2 horns have a power that will allow Celeste to use first level magic without any restrictions. Ryota went and told Doc everything that happened in the dungeon, so Doc hurried over to make sure the dungeon hadn't changed yet. And by the next day, the whole matter was completely resolved, and Celeste was now able to use first level magic freely. Ryota learned that the dungeon had officially been registered under his city's name and that they had succeeded in their mission. Then Ryota offered Celeste to come with them to the city and for all of them to be a team there. And indeed, both Emily and Celeste agreed to form a team, and they all headed back to the city together. There they learned about something called the Harvest Festival. When Ryota asked Celeste about it, she told him that it was an annual festival held in the city. All the rare loot they found in the dungeons is gathered there and turned into monsters for them to kill. The goal is to generally increase their sales of monsters and loot. After that, Ryota ran off and tried to kill some of the monsters he had collected in the Nihonium dungeon to get some bullets. He managed to get a new bullet, which was a binding bullet, while they were standing and talking. An explosion occurred in the city, so Ryota and his companions quickly ran to try to kill the monster. Ryota used the binding bullet to restrain the monster, managed to kill it, and a bag dropped from the monster. After that, Ryota went to check on Emily, and she told him she was fine, but her weapon was broken. So they decided that they would buy a new weapon. At the end of the day, while they were at home, they found someone coming to stay with them, and he told them, I'm a weapons dealer. He said, I heard that Emily's weapon was broken and I'm offering you a deal. I'll make you the weapon for free. And indeed, they agreed to his offer. The next day, Ryota went to the shop and met Arza, and there she told him, I want to ask you a favor, which is to collect the very rare loot that's hard to obtain. She gave him a book with all the loot they couldn't get, and then gave him the money for the products he brought, but it was a very small amount. Ryota was surprised, so Arza told him that this was because the Dimas, which produces the money, had been accused of corruption by the officials. She kept talking, but Ryota wasn't really paying attention to her. When he finished with her, he quickly ran to an empty spot, placed a very valuable bill, and waited for the monster to appear. An eagle showed up, and he managed to kill it and take its loot. It was basically an elixir that increased the plant extraction rate by 3 ranks. So he thought to himself, this loot is probably useless to me since my extraction rank is already S, and there's nothing higher than that. While he was standing there, the rabbit girl named Ivy ran up to him and asked him for some carrots. The two of them chatted for a while, and in the end, Ivy asked him if she could join his team. Ryota agreed, as did everyone else, and they all gathered at their house. The next day, Ryota woke up and, as soon as he got up, started greeting everyone around him. He found Celeste feeling very unwell and learned from Emily that there was a magical storm in the city. During magical storms, any magician is greatly affected. So Ryota decided that they should buy a new house with storm protection so Celeste wouldn't get even sicker. And indeed, they all found that house. Even though it was expensive, Ryota bought it for them, and it became the main headquarters for his party. After they all settled into the house, they moved to the main dungeon and reached the 7th level, which was filled with snow. There, Ryota saw the leader and the 2 people who were with him before, and he felt really upset about their condition. He thought to himself, they've been completely brainwashed. I'm sad for them. As he was walking, a monster appeared in front of him, so Ryota ran and tried to attack it, but it was no use. Then Celeste told him, you won't be able to defeat the monster on your own, because slimes of this type become invincible when they're about to die. That's why you'll need one person to weaken it and another to finish it off. Then Celeste cast a fire spell on it and managed to kill it. They actually started killing all the monsters on that floor together, until a rare monster appeared in front of them and attacked Ryota, hitting him hard. Eve rushed in and struck the monster, and Ryota shot it with his gun, and together they finished it off. From the monster, they obtained a gem that reflects all attacks. When Ryota held it and went to a lower level, he found the slime's attacks reflected back at itself until it died. He then sold the gem to Arza, as agreed. After that, Ryota went to Dimas Neonium on the 5th level. There, he encountered very powerful monsters and noticed that on this floor, his magic points increased as he leveled up. So he started thinking to himself, what am I going to do when my magic points increase? But I don't even know how to use magic in the first place. He went and told Celeste about it, and she bought him a plant worth 3 million. She told him that if he ate it, he would quickly learn a single magic skill. But before Ryota ate it, another idea came to his mind. And yes, just as he thought, he would leave the fruit until it turned into a monster and then kill it to get a bigger reward. And that's exactly what happened. It turned into a monster that takes on the appearance of the person in front of it and has 80% of their strength. Ryota kept fighting the clone that appeared of him until he was finally able to defeat it, and the fruit appeared to him again. But this time, if he eats it, he'll gain 2 magical skills instead of just 1. Ryota then went to Dimas to try out his magical skills. The first skill was the wind element, and the second one increases loot for any other person. So if Ryota uses the skill on a monster, and Emily is the one who kills it, she'll get the same loot that Ryota gets, which is S rank loot. After that, Ryota started walking around the city and saw Arza carrying heavy things, so he decided to help her. While he was standing in front of the shop, he saw a little girl standing there. She was asking people to let her join their teams, but no one agreed to take her except for one person. And that was the leader Ryota used to see in the dungeons. Ryota was very upset that he was going to add another person to his team, so he stood in front of him and said, I'm the one who will add the girl to my team. And when Ryota said that, everyone around started talking about how lucky the girl was, since Ryota had become the most important person in the city. The girl did join his team, and her name was Alice. Ryota took her to the Neonium dungeon to test her abilities. He discovered that she had a special ability. She could talk to monsters. She found a small creature that looked like a skeleton coming towards her. She decided to take it with her, and they became friends. The same thing happened in the main Dimas. She found a small one coming towards her, and both of them became her friends. Then Ryota took her and they went to his house, and everyone agreed that she could join them. The next day, she was standing there cleaning the whole house. When he woke up, he realized that the harvest festival had started, so they decided to go out for a walk. While they were walking in the market, they found someone selling monster boxes. So he decided to buy a few of them and went to open a box to see what kind of monster would come out. A rat appeared, and Ryota shot it with his gun, tied it up, used his magic skill on it, and then had Emily kill it. From it, a new bullet came out, which was an enhanced bullet. Ryota picked it up, used it, and then tried using a regular bullet and found that its power had increased significantly. He collected a quantity of these bullets and then returned to the city. While they were walking, they heard a sound coming from afar, so he ran quickly and found a monster there. He tried to shoot it once, then twice, and each time he hit it, the monster grew in size. He was running out of time as well, so they all gathered together and attacked the monster, and in the end, they managed to kill it. They spent the rest of the day wandering around the festival together. He decided to participate in the festival and asked Celeste to be his partner in the fight because she had a lot of information about different monsters. So the two of them went to the festival, and the monster appeared in front of them. They both tried to kill it and actually succeeded. The whole audience was happy with them, and afterwards, they all went home together. While they were standing there happy with the day, Alice started to feel a strange sensation and began moving involuntarily. Ryota went over to her and found out from her that she had heard a monster calling her in the damas, asking her to come to it. So Ryota told her, "Alright, we'll look into this tomorrow morning because it's late now." They all went home, and Ryota went to meet the head of the damas because he had requested to see him. There, he learned that no loot had been dropping from any damas for 2 days, and the head asked him to go investigate the matter himself, since he is a very strong person. The next day, Ryota and his team went to the main damas, and indeed, every time they killed monsters, no loot appeared at all. So Ryota started thinking about the situation, then quickly headed off to the damas. When he reached the 4th level there, he found a strange monster that looked like a human. And that monster was the Lord of the Damas. So Ryota pulled out his gun and tried to shoot him, but the monster's speed and strength were far greater than his. Ryota tried to attack him again, but all his strikes failed. He started firing some guided bullets at the monster, but they all passed right through him. However, one bullet managed to hit him, and Ryota began to understand that the monster was made of mist and only materialized the body part he was attacking with. So he started firing a lot of guided bullets at him and managed to take off his arm and leg. Then he rushed at him, shot him with the gun, and was able to kill him. At that moment, Emily arrived to check on Ryota, and she was very happy when he opened his eyes. She asked him not to push himself so hard on any mission again. He found the whole team waiting for him, so Ryota left the damas feeling very happy. After that, he decided to help all his teammates improve their strength until they all became some of the strongest people in the city, and his team became considered the strongest team in the whole world. In the end, they all gathered for a party at his house, with all the city's residents attending. Everyone was very happy with the progress they had made. Ryota sat by himself, remembering his old life, and felt very happy that he had come to this world and freed his old self from the torment he used to live in.